Okie dokie smoky. Here I go again on my own. So I got these crickets in the background that I pitched down, and there's a little thunderstorm behind it too. I don't know how much the thunder comes through. Anyway, I just thought that was calming. I hope the crickets don't symbolize boring, but I think it's calming. Gives me a little something. And I moved my room around so I'm facing outside, which is really nice. Today, first off, I want to say thank you to this wonderful community for just support and knowledge and awesome music. On the Discord, just got a lot of cool conversations going on, people sharing their videos. Just got John O'Wells from Modular Worlds on it right now. He's chatting and stuff, and it's just like, what? Hey, whoa, what do I say? So I'm really excited to just see where this stuff goes, because I mean, we're just gonna exponentially grow our knowledge on this stuff, and that's what it's all about. I'm just so excited. Jono posted a cool video of him playing the lyra with a little skiff, and sounded awesome, cinematic and beautiful, as McGuire said. And yeah, I just have really been excited and taken aback by how cool everybody is around here. So thank you for that. McGuire posted a video as well, which got me excited about the reset pin. Stuff that I have not thought about there, which is a really cool tool, really powerful tool if you're using the LFO or even the Sheas. I'm not gonna use the reset, but I'm gonna show a little breakdown method using an attenuator, the Sheas, and the kick kind of all tied together, which is going to be fun. But today, let's get to the main point. I wanted to, besides shared love, that's always the main point, but topic-wise, I also want to talk about the switches and the VCAs and attenuators being my three favorite methods of sending clock dividers to the hi-hat and the snare drum. I've shown that a lot. I haven't said it in one video, the three ways. So one of my favorite combos of clock dividers right now is, I love mixing them together. So I'm going to start with the switches here. Actually, yes, I'm going to start with the switches here, and I'm going with 16 and 1 into the right switch, and then 8 and 2 into the left switch. I like to do 16 and 1 because it leaves 4 open. I was doing 16, 4, 8 and 2, and that kind of gives you a nice little gallop, but I really like 16 and 1 because it kind of slows that 16 down, breaks it up a little bit wider, and then it leaves 4 for the kick. So right now I'm going to run, I'm going to use the square, run that through an inverter, square LFO that is, and then I'm going to run that out to the left switch, CV, and then the direct square is going to the right switch, CV. Now first I'm just going to run these both out to the top pulse inverter. So both switches together go out to the pulse inverter. And then that pulse inverter, impulse converter, whatever you want to call it, it's not an inverter, the pulse converter, apologies for saying that. So I have the inverter here, the impulse converter here that turns a gate into a trigger, a pulse. Slow that down a little bit so it goes a little bit longer on each side. And then when you go to one side, to the left you get just the left switch, and to the right you get the right switch. And that's the 16, 1, 1, and the 16 and the 1. And you could kind of blend everything together by going real fast. You can get some cool stuff. Get some rolls in there too. Yeah, I think the switch is one of my favorite methods for, the attenuators are also awesome, and the voltage controlled attenuators are kind of awesome too, but I do feel, okay, here's what I want to do just to compare these. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. So, okay, I'm gonna run the switches both out also through the gate inverter to run to the snare drum. This is all stuff I've done in previous videos, so I do apologize if it's redundant. I do think it is good to keep practicing this though. And then run that inverter out to the snare drum. Slow that down again, bring that back to kind of more. And then here's that snare drum inverted. Bring that down a little bit. Cool. And then again, to the left, you get just the left switch. Kind of breakdowny in a way too. So now that I got those, I'm going to run them out. My setup, I've explained it before. I'll explain it again. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 is A, B, C, and D on my Octatrack. So I can run anything out in stereo or in mono out to the Octatrack. Right now I would like to record this into A so that I can have that to play and compare once I hook it up to a VCA, so I can see, if any, what the difference is. So I'm going to have these set up like this here on both the top two knobs on the LFO frequency and the mod knob are both going to be around, say, like 11 o'clock. And then try to keep that straight up and down. It might look different in the camera, but straight up and down to me there. Just so that when I hook it up and record it in the VCA, I want them to be set at the same kind of setting, just so we don't get called too much of a fraud, though there is so much variation. It's kind of silly of me to do this even. But it is cool for performance-wise. So basically I have, cool, I'm going to record this one more time here. Let's see, what am I doing, And that's recording in there right now, and we're going to hear this in just a second. That is the Octatrack playing that. So cool. Now let's bump these all over to the VCA. So on the left side here, I'm going to have 8 and 2, and then on the right side 16 and 1 again in the VCAs. And then I'm just going to take the 2 clips that I had running out of the right switch to the right VCA. It's always nice to tuck that rubber down to make sure things aren't touching when you're doing stuff like this. Okay, and then the direct square out to the VCA on the right. And then I'm taking the 2 outputs from the left switch, putting that to the left VCA, touching the mix in, which is kind of hard to not do. You know what would be cool? Maybe just put a little rubber tip over that if you're not going to use that for ducking or anything. I was thinking about that the other day. Those little rubber, just doesn't even have to be tight, just something that dangles over top, so if you touch it, it doesn't go crazy over a loudspeaker. Or a piece, would that work? I don't know if it would go through the rubber, the conduction, but that's something I'm going to try. Hey, there we go, spitball in here. Okay, let me make that last connection of the inverted LFO, and this is going to be square. Square LFO into the VCA is not the cleanest. It's not my favorite. This is actually where I do like the triangle. The square on the switches are very tight, keeps things going pretty nicely, but the triangle, I think, with the attenuator is cool because it's very much like you're just kind of adjusting an attenuator with 2 different clock dividers going in, and so you're just kind of messing with the amount of each going in. So let's just take a listen to this. I'm going to mute the Octatrack, the previous one, and I'm going to bring these up. Okay, that's what we're going with right now. So it's all about where it's meeting that clock divider. I have not synced the LFO either. I just realized that. So now I feel like a goof. If you want to judge me for that, I understand. I'm not going to now. I'm just going to keep it as it is because I want a fair fight. But this is kind of cool. See? Alright, so here's what we got going on. And I don't know if it's exactly that. I'm gonna record that too, just to have two different things going in there, and then I'm gonna show you the triangle one here. Actually, no, let me go triangle first. Okay, so we got dot dot, and then the square from the. This is a square VCA rhythm with 16 and 2. Or 16 and 1, 8 and 2. Sean, don't confuse the kids. This is a VCA rhythm of 16 and 1 and 8 and 2 being sent to the hi-hat and snare drum. Snare drum is an inverted rhythm, and I'm using the square LFO. I hope all of this makes sense. Now I'm going to switch it to the triangle and see if we can notice a difference. Interesting, it's still getting, okay. I think something's touching. No? Alright, let me set them both to about 11 o'clock how I had it before. And because the LFO isn't synced up, it's going to be, and this is my own fault, I should have synced that LFO up. If you want tighter rhythm, sync the LFO up. I'm kind of happy with this right now. So that's the triangle VCA. This is a square switch. Very tight. I think the square switch is really tight, really nice. If you want to get a little squirrely with it, you can get into that VCA because it gets a little weird, and then you can go all the way over. Wow, that's kind of fun. See, because the LFO is not synced, I'm just going all over the place. I'm not starting the video over, but I will sync the LFO now. And I will go back to switches and get into the main story I wanted to tell you today. I hope this video doesn't go too long. I feel like it's going to, but here we go. Alright. I'm going to record this real quick. Boom, boom. Cool, cool. Cool. Alright, bring these down. This is the Octatrack switches and squares, and this is the adding in the VCA and triangle. Taking out these switches and squares. Cool. Alright, so now I have two rhythms going on. And now I'm going to switch these back. I'm just doing this to demonstrate that I'm insane. Going back and forth again. So here we go. Switches, back to switches. Why didn't he start with the VCAs? I don't know. He wants to just demonstrate how many times he can move things. And that he's not scared to move things. Alright. Cool. And what I could also be doing right now, just to liven things up in the meantime, is send, like I said before, that 4 to the kick. Wow. Let's just make it sound like a real rhythm real quick. Alright. Take things in and out. This is that VCA rhythm that we just made. And then I'm just going to jump these CVs from the LFOs over as well back there. And now we are back. I'm going to switch the LFO back to square because I like that square with the LFO. See, we're all learning. And now bring that baby back up. Yeah. Wow, Wilson. Cool. Alright, so there's a breakdown idea that I had after this whole mess. So now I have 4 different, or a bunch of different things playing here at the same time. Cool. Cool. What am I doing with my life? Anyway, alright. So then if I take the, so I got 4 running into the kick. If I take the kick and also attenuate a, let's see, since we have 4, I'm going to run 1, which is also connected to 16. So it's 16, 4, and 1 that are going to be going into the kick here, which ties them all together, which will inherently be going to the switches. Okay, so here we go. Got that all set up there, and the kick's going fast, kind of a faster kick. I'm going to tie that 1 in. Cool. You can tighten that up if you want, try to do whatever you want, add a little reverb to it, maybe that'll fill in some gaps. I feel a little sloppy, but I kind of also, I'm happy with how this is going. I have the switches and the squares. I got these 2 recordings. Got that kick going. I can bring that breakdown. Then take these from the Octatrack out. Bring 1 in. This is my recording of the VCA. And then bring in the old recording of the squares and the switches as well. Mess with that LFO, bring it up so it's really just going crazy. If you go real fast, maybe you'd want to put it all the way to the left first before you switch over so that you know it's always going to be on one switch. That might be a safe way to do it so it doesn't sound like an entangled mess when you, and then from there you can kind of maybe dial in the other side. But you can get some cool stuff. Anyway, to add to that kind of breakdown idea, slow that LFO back down. To add to that breakdown idea, I'm going to demonstrate it with the ground being sent to the CV of the bass, and then, oops, what am I doing? There we go. So sending the ground through a VCA to the bass CV, which is going to be CV'd by the 3-bit Chayas. I'm going to clock the Chayas to 16. So it's going to be fast. Nope, not 16. Oh yeah, okay, oh yeah, I learned something, that's right. So 16, or if you connect the Chayas clock to a clock with, to these pins right now, it kind of throws a lot in it. It kind of messes it up. So I'm going to clock it to the kick. It doesn't mess with the kick, so I'm going to clock it at 4. I forgot about that. That's an interesting thing. I don't understand why that is. So if somebody understands why when I connect that that clock from the Sheas is, I think it's because the clock is kind of sending it. I don't know, because it's messed by the knob too. So I guess if it's all the way down, you don't really get it that much. You kind of still do. Anyway, so I'm going to connect it to the 4. So Sheas is being clocked by 4, which is also connected to the kick. And so what that means when I do the little breakdown, which I hope to be able to hear once I connect this bass to the noise. So the bass being triggered by noise, just to give it a little life. Cool. Got that. I can mess with that and fix it all up. Do something different if I want to. And then to demonstrate the breakdown thing, I just want to, let's listen to this for a second, just so I get an idea of what the Sheas is saying. Okay. See, what happens is once I throw it up here like this, and I bring the attenuator all the way up, it shortens the phrase of the Sheas. I'm starting to understand. This has happened in other videos. I just didn't know how to explain it, and I feel like I'm finally understanding. So if you're going in order in these videos, I apologize if I'm extremely redundant, but I guess it's repetition is kind of key sometimes for learning things. But so yeah, there's the breakdown. Kick is slowed down. The phrase of the Sheas slow, and that's all because 4, 1, and 16 are all tied together through these clock dividers touching each other there, and then I can take it off through this attenuator, which is just magically fun. Cool. Alright, now it's different again. Or maybe it's not, maybe my memory's bad. Anyway, that's basically all I wanted to show you, just kind of VCA switch combination, like which one sounds like what. Sounds to me like pretty similar. I don't want to give up my VCAs, so I apologize if this whole video was useless, but I think this breakdown thing's pretty cool by tying things together, and it gets you thinking more about what's touching what, where are things going, and also just the recording method. To be able to just record, like, I'm just going to record this little phrase, just keep that going. Switch it up. Yeah, I really like the switches, and I do. Zinzerna commented about how the square works better, and that's a good catch. I wasn't even paying attention at the time. I was just excited about getting that going, and that is a very clean back and forth there. So VCAs are fun if you want to get real weird, but I do think that you could do a lot of other really cool stuff with VCAs that we're going to find out about, right? I don't know what it is yet, but you know, there's so much to do. I think the ground through the VCA to the CV has been one of my favorite things. And also the panning using the VCAs is really fun. Anyway, that's it. Have a great week. I'm running long, and I apologize for the rambling, my third take. Check out the Discord, links below for Guire McGuire. Modular World, if you don't know Modular World, check that out too, very, very cool. And yeah, Dopamine down there, Zinzerna. Gonna get you all hooked up. Let's figure out how to use these machines. Alright guys, thank you so much. I'm gonna play out. I'm gonna hook this Lyra up over here to my C input, and yay, it's tuned. Sorta. Whoa! Another thing to use that reset button for is to sync it up with things, baby. You gotta use that reset button more. It's really important. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm off today. Yeah, use that reset button. See, I'm falling apart here. Demonstrating for you. Just how to fall apart. My timing is way off, and I'm not sure why, so let me know if you caught it, why I'm so awful. Y'all take care. Really a pleasure.